Hello everyone, this is Naresh IAS Academy digital platform for the IAS mains exam. How to cover General Studies question paper 1 for IAS mains. I have already completed General Studies question paper 2 for IAS mains, and this is my next series to cover the entire GS paper 1 through the 20 videos. You may take help from YouTube channel. The GS paper 2 completely I have discussed and uploaded all the videos. Or remaining part for detailing you may access to our website, the Naresh IAS Academy, and you may contact for offline classes or answer writings, and those students are not capable, definitely this series will help you. And this is my effort how to provide a concrete approach to grasp all the syllabus or to make grip over the question paper 1. As I have successfully done in the case of General Studies question paper 2, and I shall continue my effort in the all GS paper and the optional history and finally the essay writing paper. So this is our 6th topic according to syllabus, the revolt of 1857. Again the important topic from the point of view of questions. And we will try to understand the two important dimensions. One is the nature of revolt. Most of questions have been asked by UPSC from this part, so it's become the important for us, and the long lasting impact over the Indian administration, society, religion, economy, and through the Indian map we can make more scientific these information. However, in answer writing we generally guide you how can we obtain 1 marks more with their competitor. Okay. Revolt of the 1857. This is definitely important topic from the point of view of British government or the Indian peoples, because this was a alarming for British government to make some drastic changes in the Indian administration or approach towards the Indian. And from the side of Indian peoples, it made a more courageous or provided daring to Indians how collectively they resist the British hegemony. And after that it was not only continue, it was an increase in the different spheres of Indian human's life. So we have to trace the both of aspect. First I will discuss what is the nature. Regarding the nature, we have to discuss the mainly 3 aspects. Either it was nationalist in its nature or simply a sepoy mutiny, and this was a simply a collective aggregate uprising of peasants of the tribal movements. Most of Indian scholars agreed that this was nationalist in its nature, and this theory propounded by V.D. Savarkar when he stated the revolt was India's first and national, and this was the freedom struggle too. And so many scholars on the other end not only opposed but criticized. And this was the Ramesh Chandra Majumdar, the R.C. Majumdar, who criticized it was not first, not national, and not the freedom struggle. So now we have to understand what are the elements and symbols on which we can stand, we can put the nationalist theory. Just I want to say, there was a one government in India? No. There was a one national symbol? No. One national currency? One governing system? One flag of the country? No. Then these elements were absent that time. So definitely it is difficult to say it was the nationalist in its nature. These are the symbols which strengthen your theory. But on what basis V.D. Savarkar propounded his theory? Simply he is trying to say most of geographical territory joined the revolt except the major part of the southern India. Most of geographical territory including some princely states or British provinces. So the geographical area simply reflects its national approach. And second, the participation of different classes of Indian peoples. However, the middle class, zamindar, the landlords, most of the princely states and trading class did not join the revolt. But the other end, there were other sections, they joined the revolt at the large scale. Then the participation in the revolt simply influenced by their benefit or interest. Those classes were getting benefits from the British government, they maintained distance, and those classes affected and they directly revolt the Britishers. Definitely on the basis of participation by the different classes, and Hindus and Muslims were fighting together against the government. And thirdly, we can say the protesters definitely know this is the British, the common enemy to all. So definitely they were all trying to get rid of or to protect their interests from the Britishers. In this sense we can say, then there are limited scope for proving the nationalist nature. And the freedom struggle, definitely why the Nana Sahib and Tatya Tope joined the revolt, and this was the leader Bahadur Shah second Jafar, Rani Lakshmi Bai. Definitely their aims to get freedom and to protect their territories or princely states from the British influence and to push the Britishers from India. In this sense, we can say this was seems generally the freedom struggle too. And why first? There were so many revolts or uprising by the not only peasants but by the tribals and the British Indian Army too in the 1806 at the Belur, Karnataka. And simply this was a revolt at large scale, first time through a large platform, then a big platform and the big leadership. Definitely it presented at the first time of the revolt. And the R.C. Majumdar, Ramesh Chandra Majumdar, Indian historians belong to the Bengal province who criticize and oppose the all three adjectives applied by the V.D. Savarkar. Not first, who mentioned there were so many revolts. However, they were revolt, but they did not use the big platform it was seen in the 1857, and not the nationalists, because that time there was no concept of nationalism. He is saying simply the concept of nationalism and the national aspect were arose after the establishment of Indian National Congress in 1885, and this was not freedom struggle. Simply he is saying that if the English government agreed to return Maratha Empire to Nana Sahib and Tatya Tope, was there any possibility for these two to support the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II? Definitely we can say no. If they have got their territory, then they will never support the Bahadur Shah Jafar to getting their Mughal Empire's prestige again, because in the earlier time there was no such kinds of relationship have been seen in the history between the Marathas and the Mughals. Maratha were trying to fighting for maintaining the respect of Mughals. So this was not a freedom struggle. Simply Rani Lakshmibai may be satisfied if British government agreed to provide the Jhansi states at the term and conditions or according to the opinion of Lakshmibai, and Lakshmibai did not interested to fight Britishers for saving the entire country. Definitely it was not possible that time. Second, some historians are agreed and they admit it was simply a sepoy mutiny. And why? Because it was started through the sepoys of Barakpur station, West Bengal, and mostly the dominance of army can be seen, and army led the revolt at the different centers. If we support the aspect of sepoy mutiny, then it shall be not justful for interpreting the participation of peasants, tribesmen, Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib Tatya Tope and Bahadur Shah II Jafar or Maulvi Ahmadullah, because they didn't have any kinds of interest or linkage with the British Indian Army. Simply they were fighting for saving their geographical territories, either they were acquired by British government or under the threatened. So to say sepoy mutiny, it will be same unjustful for the other classes or section who were the main participant of the revolt. Okay, and finally we have to conclude that the revolt of the 1857 was not either nationalist, was not absolutely sepoy. However, it had the mixed nature. So many geographical territories, different classes joined the revolt according to their vested interest. So you must be alert when you are reading the chapter or when you are writing your answer. If you absolutely supported any one of the ideology, then definitely examiner will not agree with you or he will deduct your marks. Next aspect is the long lasting impact of the 1857. How much extent the revolt affected the Indian socio-economic political circumstances. The first I want to say or I want to discuss some points about the polity or the administrative changes. You know, after the revolt, East India Company was ended and the British Crown, Victoria, took the Indian administration in her hand and she declared herself as Empress of India after the Allahabad court. Right? Next, the structure of the Indian administration, which was managed by East India Company, now shifted to a India office. The diarchy rule was abolished and one India office established at London, and this was presided over by a Secretary of India for the Indian states. And thirdly, the Governor General of India was given Viceroy of India along with the admin position, because the princely states who supported the revolt in favor of Britishers, and now this was time to gift or cheer the princely states, and after that, through the Viceroy, British Crown now declared all the princely states as their adopted child. So important change was made to maintain relationship with the princely state. And some changes in the military or the army approach. Firstly, they reorganized the British Indian army and how they balance the proportion of British or the Indian soldiers in army, Second, and they pushed the most of Indian from the posting of the important or strategic points like the arsenals or the armory sections. Promotion policy was also revised, and the military campaign or expansionist policy was continued. After that, on the order of British Crown, the British Indian army had to fight against Myanmar, and Myanmar was acquired in 1885, and they had to fight in Afghanistan, the Anglo-Afghan war, and they had to lead a campaign in Tibet or in the Central Asian nations. So the military expansionist policy was continued, and all the army expenses were overburdened on the Indian treasury. In the social or religious sector, religious sector, however, British Crown declared not to intervene, but practically it was intervened in the matters, because these were influenced by the economic interest. After that, they made so many changes like the Civil Marriage Act 1872, Age of Consent Bill 1891, and Sarda Act 1930, and so many changes in the religious sphere. In the economic sector, we can say the economic aims or objectives were not changed, they were the plus, and it was the main objective to maintain or increase the revenue sources or to obtain maximum economic benefits from the India. It was maintained as made by the East India Company. And secondly, some changes however made. Now British Crown ordered to invest in each and every sectors. Banking sectors were enlarged, insurance sectors, coal minings, power generation, the expansion of railway network, the road construction, the modern jute industries, textile industries, chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries. But this was a hidden cause, an invisible hand through which now British Crown made a plan for the exploitation of Indians. But on the other hand, it was presented before Indians just like we are giving a modern scope or modernity to the Indians. So we can say economic factors were the backbones for governance. It was not only changed and it was continued, and we can say it was made more deepened, and the roots of economic exploitation were taking into the more depth. Okay, then you should try to understand the topic in this way, that definitely we can ensure to tackle all kinds of questions either asked in the previous years, and our mental approach for fighting or meeting the challenges of the coming question papers. Thank you.